Oh, the filler, the bonus episode, right? With
I've no,
Annalise.
I haven't watched the last episode. I'm watching that, but I'm saying like I'm about to be in season 2.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, so you
So
watched
Mushoku
all
Tensei,
23
huh?
episodes then?
Oh, it's 23 episodes. Damn, I felt like fucking
Yeah.
12.
Okay, but it's like season 1, part 1, season 1, part 2, season 2, part. So it's 24 episodes in season 1, and then it's 12 in season 2, part 1. What's the last thing you saw then?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wano Bros Podcast. We've been recording for about 30 seconds here. We are on episode, what is it? 10? 9? I think it's 9.
9.
Episode 9. Episode 9.
Damn.
Anyway, um, so we started the podcast. We were talking about RJ's now love for Mushoku Tensei, even though he's been shitting on it for the past couple of weeks.
Well, the thing about Mushoku Tensei is that I've realized that without the degeneracy inside of it, it does. I do have to skip it sometimes. It's actually a pretty good show.
Does have to skip
Yeah,
it sometimes.
that's always
you
the.
kinda realize the guy's like a 34-year-old stuck in like he's like a reincarnated, so he's like 10, but he's like there's some weird moments where I gotta skip it. But
It's really
other than
weird.
that, it has a good premise, like where he gets dispersed and his whole family's gone fucking missing, and then you have like the little side quest with little girl who's like the Water King, and then the people
Water
who
King.
his dad were like cool with, all that. I think it's a good storyline, especially with my boy Rupert, bro.
Who?
Green-haired kid. Rudyard?
Oh, Rudyard.
Rudyard, yeah. Like,
He said Rupert and was like,
I
huh?
said Rupert, that's why, yeah. Well, called Rupert in that show, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, he's
Rupert.
like the outcast species that like everyone kills because they think they're so like aggressive and stuff. And
Well, they
I
are.
mean, that's always
Wait.
like the like bad part.
I want to
Mushoku
sidetrack.
Tensei.
I just want to sidetrack, talk to the fans. If anybody named Rupert is in our chat, I'm sorry, your mother hates you. She called you Rupert.
Harsh.
She named you Rupert.
The thing
That's an L.
the thing that pisses me about Rudyard is that this guy's always about like reclaiming his fucking like species name and all that shit when he's just killing like petty thieves. Like he's like fucking literally Batman in distress. Like
That's
someone
good.
can steal
I'm
a
Matt
fucking
Man.
water bottle and the guy goes, "How old are you?" "I'm 18." He'll just fucking murder them. Like if it's a child, he's like, "Oh, you're forgiven." But if it's fucking
Okay.
like
Have you guys
Two
ever
females
watched
to the water
Friends? I know this is
No.
off topic. Have you guys ever watched Friends?
yes,
No.
You watched Friends. I've watched
Yeah.
Friends like 5 times, just because of sheer boredom, and only because it related to Batman. We were talking about Batman for a second. Unfortunately, Matthew Perry passed away like this weekend. Chandler Bing, R.I.P. Chandler Bing. He died in the most Chandler way possible. Sorry if that's unfiltered because he died during a war, but he wasn't part of the war, so.
I thought he died because he drowned.
He died because he drowned, but like in the most Chandler way possible because I've been seeing a lot of Palestine Israel stuff. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of people mourning his death. I've seen more.
there's a bunch.
There's a couple here and there, but it was always like the day after, right? It wasn't the day of when he died because I saw when he died. I was like, oh shit, Matthew Perry. I love Chandler, and then nobody else was posting about it until the next day. So I mean, when I say the most Chandler way possible, I'm not trying to make a joke of his death because that's sad and everything, right? And that you shouldn't really joke about people's death, but him being that character for, I'm sorry, his entire life. I mean, it wasn't his entire life, but you know what I'm trying to say. It was
Like
like
when people thought of Matthew Perry, they thought
they
of
thought
that
of
role.
they thought of that role exactly. And obviously, it's sad that he died because I love Chandler Bing and he was always so funny. But yeah, I think he just died the most Chandler way possible because
You know what I did not know about Friends? I forgot that her name Phoebe married Ryan Reynolds.
Phoebe married Ryan Reynolds? I didn't even know that.
I don't keep up with all this shit, so I saw like someone
yeah.
just got like broken up with, like some celebrities broke up, and I was like, I don't even know who the hell the
I
celebrities even
hate when
are.
they do that. They'll be like, Charlem Dior breaks up with fucking Glendale
like
Dingle, and then it's like just a bunch of
Glendale
white women
Dingle.
on TikTok like crying, talking about the subject.
Quandale
Like,
Dingle
meanwhile,
is your
there's like a
legal
war
name.
going on.
Quandale Dingle is your legal name, RJ.
Bondo Pringle, actually.
Okay, but back to RJ's point about Mushoku Tensei. So like Rougier is beating up bandits because the whole point and the whole stigma around his race in the series and the show is that they're just aggressive and they're just bad guys. But he's trying to reclaim that by being a part of a party that goes out and kills monsters, does good things. And Rudy is trying to prop him up as like, because I believe that they name themselves
Dead end.
their like adventure group after something of Rougier, like what they might have called his species in the past. So then when people say like or talk about their
It's got to be
group,
racist.
then it's going to be a good thing instead of a bad thing when they hear that stigma.
Yeah.
So
Well,
It's got to be
Rougier's
racist.
epithet is dead end, so they named the group Dead End. So then Rougier's epithet, instead of turning into something that's very vile and aggressive, it's more like, oh, they've liberated, blah blah blah.
so what was the last thing you saw in like your last episode? So I can get like a timeline of where you're at right now and what you're gonna see.
I think I only watched the season one, part one then, because the last thing that I saw, they were on like the little Babel track where it was the blue-haired girl. What's her name again?
His master, right?
Roxy,
Roxy.
Roxy,
It just
Roxy,
reminded
and
me of
then
Black Clover.
wait, Roxy and the two people Paul's group, but they weren't. It wasn't the first time they met. It was like after the whole bar stunt and everything.
Have you met the man god,
Yeah, the guy who talks to the guy who
Rudy, in
talks
his
to Rudy
dreams?
in his dreams, where he's like, "Yo, you gotta get that cookie tomorrow. It's gonna change the whole timeline."
Yeah.
That dude.
The way you said it, I'm sorry, that was funny.
No,
You gotta
that's
go
fucking
get that
dope.
cookie,
Like
bro.
the moment Rudy just goes to sleep, this guy's like, "Yo, tomorrow you gotta do this. Trust me." And he just follows it. And then one time he did that, and Rudy got mad at him.
Now you talked about the degeneracy in the show. Do you think that like turned you off at all? Like when you
Yeah. Oh
saw it,
fuck yeah.
were you
Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm about to drop the show? Like
Hell
one
yeah.
scene that almost turned me off of it was when he's a baby and he has like the panties on his head, and I'm like, what the fuck
No,
is this?
that's just regular like Japanese like perverted shit. The one thing that really turned me the fuck off is when he was on Eris, and I was like, hell no, I'm turning this shit off. Like, are you serious, bro? You're 34. Like, yeah, that just pisses me off. You know what I mean?
I don't want to
I
spoil
get it.
anything,
I
but there's
get
a lot
it.
more shit that's gonna
I'm not
happen
gonna
later.
lie. I don't know if I would watch. I don't know if I would watch this
No, but
personally.
that's what pisses me off because the show has a really good plot, and it just adds into degeneracy. Like, it's cool when he's doing to like Roxy. It's whatever, because Roxy's literally 44 years old.
Well, One Piece can be perverted, but it's also a really, really good
Oh,
show.
Sanji's not safe. That dude was rocking with Pudding. Pudding is 16 years old.
It was a political marriage, so I mean, happens in history, I
No matter,
guess.
he still got nosebleeds.
Um,
And then the third
yeah.
eye appeared, and
I
he went
think
into
we already
space.
talked about Japan's consent age, so I don't know if we should keep touching on the fact if, okay, these girls are 16, like, stop it. And it's like, bro, if
Doesn't
that's the
matter.
consent
So
age.
long.
No, I could understand that from an American perspective. But when you're looking at it at a Japanese.
It's just it's moral ambiguity. It's stupid. Like
Okay,
why
but let me tell you something.
16? Really?
But let me tell you something. If the age of consent in New Jersey, or I'm sorry, not New Jersey, let's say the age of consent in the United States was 16, we would not be hearing a fucking word about Japan.
Well, 16. I mean, morally, still a 16-year-old completely different than an 18-year-old.
Hmm.
When I was 16, I was still doing 16-year-old shit.
Yeah, everybody was. I'm not like saying, oh, like this should be allowed, yada yada yada. Absolutely not. Like pedophilia, absolutely not. That is not okay in anybody's book. What I'm saying is, it's just culture based.
There's definitely,
Unfortunately, it's culture based.
unfortunately, it shouldn't be in.
I agree.
Show in
I'm just
it
saying it's
shouldn't though.
culture based, so I don't know if we should really keep
I don't know.
going on
It's
that
just a
point.
lot of these
Speaking
animes that really piss me off is just that they'll have such a good storyline and then they'll just have to throw in some shit like that. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah, like My
completely
Life as
turns me off.
Yunukai-san's dog. Totally just threw it out with degeneracy in the uncensored episodes.
That's not that
Like
shit's
for
not
what?
right. I don't know. I just can't rock with a show that has a good storyline and then just implements some fucking bullshit like that. Like that's just it's just so like what's the word? It's like so set. It's like unsettling. It's like bruh.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching 4 episodes just to get to this fucking 10-second clip. Are you kidding me?
Hmm.
Like Konosuba was fine because the way they did it was actually pretty funny. But like this is just like the one in Mushoku Tensei. Sometimes it's just like, bruh, it's like giving Tokyo Revengers. You are a 34-year-old, bro. You are like
It is
you might.
Tokyo Revengers. I was saying it is Tokyo Revengers.
I dropped that fucking show just because of that. Like, bro,
Yeah,
was
me
like
too.
actively trying to get at his like 14-year-old. I was like, are you kidding me?
Bro, that's exactly why too. Like I stopped the first season, I was like, okay, it literally could have ended here. Like as soon as she died and realized like this is the point that's gonna continuously keep happening no matter what he does, that's where the story should end, personally. Like get over it, find a new love in the real world, and like get over your 16-year-old fantasy girl. Like that's ridiculous.
14.
Even worse, man. Like what?
Did you guys watch the show? I feel like you guys didn't.
I
watch
haven't
show.
watched
How
the
you
show.
talking about it?
I haven't watched it.
And I've read some of the manga. What I'm saying is, the guy is still fucking in love with his fucking 14-year-old girlfriend. Who cares if she keeps dying over and over in that fucking truck explosion? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
The
it's just
whole
like,
point is he's trying to save her.
yes, but he's actively still fucking in love with her, and that's the weird part about it. And you can't say he isn't. That's not right. That's not right.
Oh my gosh.
That's not fucking right. It's
Austin! No, I'm playing.
So, okay, but then Omar said it should have ended at season 1. But you just said you didn't watch the show.
We're not talking about Mushoku Tensei.
No, Tokyo Revengers.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I watched the first season, but I'm not watching the second season. I'm not.
You're telling me the cliffhanger should have been the ending? When Kisaki shoots Chifuyu?
I didn't say that.
Wait, Tokyo...
I think Chifuyu is the GOAT character. I think he's the coolest one.
I think I'm mixing shows here, because Tokyo Revengers is the one where this guy keeps going back in time trying to save this girl.
He claps hand. Well, he shakes hands with his little ex-girlfriend's fucking brother, who was like a 4-year-old when he met him, and then turned into like a police detective.
Because
he goes back in time, and he realized that this canon time point is when that girlfriend dies in the collateral to gang wars, and then he's trying to stop, and that's the active
100%. Yeah. No, that's the show I was thinking about. I was just thinking like.
And then at the end of season 1, they get like time warped into like this alternate dimension where, pretty much, what's his name, the main character? Michi.
Takemichi.
Takemichi
and fucking Chifuyu are essentially like these, not like mob bosses, but they're kind of like running the head. And then you have Kisaki there, and then you have all the other people, and then you kind of see Kisaki shoot Chifuyu, the guy with the blonde hair that he meets at the end. Yeah. Well, not meets at the end, but gets closer to at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird because, dude, the middle of Tokyo Revengers was so good. Like when was it Bachira or Bachi?
Mm-hmm.
When they were fighting in that whole like brawl, and then Mikey was going off, and that one dude like the green hair and the yellow hair, I forgot his name. Fuck. They're really the ADHD. Like he needs like some like fucking Vyvanse in his life. What's his name?
Because he was fucking up Mikey, right?
Well, he killed Mikey's brother. What's his name?
I forgot his name.
He killed Mikey's brother.
Kazutora.
It's on the Kazutora, yeah.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Kazuya, yeah, Kazuya.
That was such a good like middle of season. Like, fuck, this is good. Mm-hmm. And then bro just had to keep like, he's just such an annoying character, Mikey. Not Mikey, fucking Takemichi. Guy's like a bitch.
Agreed.
He's so annoying. Like he's just so annoying.
I'm gonna drop some truth bombs on you guys. You ready? The whole point of the story is that he's working with the little brother to save Hina.
We know that,
in the past.
The dude still loves her. That's weird.
Okay, so you're telling me that like you've never had someone that like
man. I don't go back.
It's not about the 30-year-old shit. He's playing the part to get more information, and I'm pretty sure the little brother tells him in the future that like Hina always regretted breaking up with you or like missing you, so he wants to like save her.
Bro's
and then, even in the future when she dies the second time.
I gotta say, Austin, you're making the point sound worse.
Yeah, like no, it's not about that. I'm saying like, dude is still trying to bag her when they're 14 and he's a 30-year-old in his brain. That's what I'm trying to say. Like he's actively seeing her and shitting his pants when he's 14. Like this dude's like still getting like, that's just weird.
He shits his pants because she's literally dead in the future.
That's
and
not
he sees her and he's like, holy shit, I haven't seen Hina since high school.
That's not. But he's seen her
100% no.
Once. Don't get flustered. He was in that car with her. Talking about that shit, and the dude was flustered as hell. You are a 30-year-old in a 14-year-old's body.
When they're in the car, he's back in the future.
I messed up.
Because then the truck collides with them and it blows up.
I missed
And
out.
then she looks over to him and goes, "I always
can't
loved you,
condone
Takamichi."
Can't condone it. Can't condone it. Can't condone it. I get it. You gotta
Like,
save her
I'm
life.
just saying the reason why Tokyo Revengers is trash isn't the whole like him trying to save
it's
Hina.
the
It's because the
It's
story has just taken a turn and it's boring as fuck.
But it's still some sort of.
yeah, no, I look
I can't rock
as
it without
somebody who watched the show as well and hasn't really talked throughout this little thing. I gotta say, Takamichi like falls for her eventually. It's weird, right?
No,
Because
he's
both
off her, but
no, like there's wait, let me finish because there's two sides I'm hearing. Both sides are right, but they're both not 100% of what happened, right? Because the first half, yes, Takamichi was trying to save that girl for this amount of time, but then the other half he started to fall in love with her throughout that path. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying his wrong. I'm saying combine it because that's actually what happened.
Let me just end the statement. Bro went back in time to save his girlfriend, who had a canon event of dying, and actively kept falling in love with her and as a 30-year-old brain. That's
Yeah.
just wrong.
100%. 100%.
I don't like. I hate when people talk because they do the same shit with Mushoku Tensei,
Well,
where they
Mushoku Tensei's
say
not really
he's a
like that.
34-year-old in his head, but he has his thoughts. He talks in his old voice, his like old world voice, right? But in the actual world, he is a like. I think Rudy right now in season 2 is like maybe 16 or 17. I think he's
But
around
he
there.
still has the memories of a.
I feel like we're
34-year-old.
still circling around the point that
Dude,
yes, his brain is 30 years old.
Do midgets like do they get older?
Do midgets get older, bro? That's a horrible take.
Do
Say
they
little
get-
person. Say
okay.
little person. Correct yourself.
Do they get older? Yes.
Yes.
Do they get more mature? Yes. Rudy might be 3'2", but he has the maturity of not even a 42-year-old because he's already spent 9 more years in that goddamn body in season 1.
So every isekai is just a garbage pedo fest then, because isn't that not every isekai basically is someone who's older besides like Eminence and Shadow where he like
No, there's a bunch of
the main character still stays the same age. And the person he's perverted to is a 1,000-year-old fucking like sorcerer.
See, here's the thing, because a lot of isekais you're getting either adults falling in love with each other or kids falling in love with each other. It's not really an adult and a kid falling in love with each other, and that's where the line is drawn with shows like Mushoku Tensei and with shows like Tokyo Revengers. Because as soon as you merge the two worlds,
there's a bunch of them. It's just
there's a bunch, but they're not in the spotlight for a reason. At least in the West. I don't know what's going on in Japan. They could do whatever they like. They got their own rules. I'm not going to say anything on that one. But there's both hints of in anime, it's all over the place. And with a bunch of isekais, the case is it's not every anime that's going off like, okay, this 16-year-old goes into this. This 30-something-year-old goes into a 16-year-old body. Boom, that's the isekai. No, a lot of the time it's genuine people, either adults falling in love with each other or kids falling in love with each other.
All right, what about Oshinoko?
I have no idea.
Is that a creepy anime?
I haven't watched it.
That shit is fucking weird. That shit is fucking weird. Dude,
I'm gonna look this up.
I liked Oshinoko in the beginning. Bro fell in love with his fucking sister, bro. Biologically, that's fucking weird. You can't sit there
in the manga, yes.
Pat your head. You can't sit there and pat your head and be like, nah, it's not fucking weird. Also, when he was a doctor, he was like 42, and then his fucking patient with cancer was like fucking 10. I don't give a fuck if they're the same age biologically. That is fucking weird, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think anybody, not even anyone, condoned it on Twitter. No one condoned it.
Hey, no one likes that part of the manga, right? I'm talking about
Yeah,
in
but
the
that
anime,
des-
because
that
in the
destroys
anime,
a show.
What is
That
it?
destroys a show. That literally destroys a show.
Say
You can't sit
the
there and
name
be
one
like,
more time so I can just find it.
Man, this show was good. Like, it was for the first like duration.
Oshinoko.
Oshinoko.
His whole determination of finding out who killed his mother is such a good plot just for it to be destroyed by dating his fucking sister, and that's why the show
He's
sucked.
not dating his sister. It was
I gotta say,
first of all, it was a fan chapter. Someone like made their own little fan flick, but in the actual chapter, it's like the more recent ones that haven't been animated. She finds out that like, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. The guy, Aqua,
yeah,
is actually the doctor, and she's like, oh my god, like,
wait,
I love you.
so if
Like,
RJ,
there's no confirmation
I gotta
that they're
ask.
dating.
I gotta ask. So, if RJ only watched the anime, RJ, did you watch the anime and read the manga?
I read the manga up to a certain point, but I still know that this is the issue: is that when they were both alive, doctor and patient, she would be like, "Oh, I want to marry you when I'm older." This cancer sick like child, right? And now she finds out that the reincarnation, blah 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 bullshit, and who her biological brother is actually the doctor. Now we're gonna get to a fucking point in Japanese media where these two like fucking fall for each other, and it's legitimate incest. That
I
destroys
don't
a
think that's
complete
gonna
story.
Okay,
happen.
let's slow down because it doesn't sound like there's any confirmation of that.
Is that dude? Okay.
I don't
It's not
know.
gonna
I don't know.
happen.
I haven't
It's just
watched it. Okay, as an observer of both of these conversations, I can physically say there's no confirmation because I'm also looking it up now. There's no official confirmation because that was a little
I'm
fan
honestly, I
flick.
hope not, because the show has a really good fucking plot.
I mean,
Like as
If he
was,
hey,
did
pretty,
that, the
8.75, good for them, but
the manga would tank
it
if he
would.
did that.
You
And
saw
the
how
reason I brought up Oshinoko is for the reason that you guys talk about, which is in the first season of the anime, Aqua goes through a dilemma where he has this thing with I think her name's Akina or Aki or
the red
the
haired girl.
yeah, where he has to sit there and think, I have my maturity and my intelligence of like a late 20, early 30-year-old person, but I am in the body and I am now like a 17-year-old high schooler. I need to now, like, I can't just live my past life. I have to adapt that I am now a different person at a different age and I just have a higher maturity and intelligence because I
That's
was
still,
reincarnated.
but that's still fucking weird. At least like wait till you're 18. Like that's just weird,
wait,
bro.
wait. Let's
That's
let's
weird.
let's hit the pause button because we're running into a hypothetical territory where we're talking about this girl is permanently, I assume, permanently stuck in this 17-year-old body as
No,
a
no.
No.
30-something-year-old
So
adult.
this 40-year-old dude reincarnates into a child, right?
He's not
A baby.
40.
He was a doctor. He was like 40.
He was like in his early 30s at most.
What doctors in their early
Whoa,
30s?
what's the name of the character and age?
Even
I have
even hold
Google
on,
right
wait,
in
wait,
front of
listen,
me.
listen, hold on. Even if he's in early 30s, listen, ready? He reincarnates to a baby, right? And he just Austin's essentially just justifying that there's this 15-year-old girl who goes to school with him, right? And that's okay to get at because he has to forget his past life. That's like Austin, you going into a child's body and saying, "I can like kids now."
No, I'm saying
Wait,
he has to understand. He's trying to understand like how to live his new life now. You want him to
You
just like
live it
kill
as if you're
himself in the
30.
anime?
but wait, because is he permanent at this point? Does he permanently think he's stuck in the body?
He is. He's a whole new
He's
person. He's
born,
reborn as
but he
his.
has all the memories of when he was a doctor and as he grew up over adolescence.
Okay, so does
His
his
past
sister have
ad-
to stay at like 12 or 13 years old for the rest of her life then? Because she
no,
died at
she
like 12 or
grows up. Well,
13.
We're
the guy has
headed, we're spearheaded into dangerous
you got to
territory.
realize that when this guy turns 15 years old in his 15-year-old body, in reality he's not 32 anymore. The guy's 47 mentally.
No, he's not.
How
That
is he
Austin,
doesn't
not?
make any sense.
Austin. I can do math. I can. That's
Austin,
right.
if you are
No.
35 and you transfer yourself to another body and then you live in that body for 15 years, if you were 35 before and now you have 15 more years of thoughts, how old are you mentally, Austin?
He has been through that part of his life in his previous life. It's not like he was 8 years old when he died.
He's already been to that part, so don't you think that's like wrong? Like you don't find that wrong in any way? That's not wrong.
So what should they do about it? What do you want them to do about it
Well,
then?
Aqua does a good job about it. He doesn't entertain any of that shit because he knows he's a 32-year-old, and if he gets to that
Yeah,
point,
but
I
he
don't know
has the
yet.
struggle in season one of like, how am I gonna live my? Do I live my life as my old 32-year-old self, or do I have
Well,
to
he
now live
does
my life
mostly.
as
He mostly
Aqua?
does. He mostly does. Have you not realized that when he goes to like the studio and the people talk to him, like the guy who like gives him all the jobs and shit, he's doing all this shit in secret with all the knowledge that he actually had in his past life, so he can unclue and untreasure who actually killed his mother. Who's not even. It's a dilemma, and I don't really don't see the point of like, oh, I'm 34 and I've reincarnated with all my memories from the past. I'm a 15-year-old now with only 15-year-old experience. No, you are a 50-year-old mentally.
So what? So when can he date someone then in the show?
When
Does he have to wait until he's like in his
adolescence.
70s?
Out of adolescence. That shit's just weird,
21.
dog.
21.
That's just weird. It's just weird to like you can't objectively, bro. 15.
Well, you're gonna drop Mushoku Tensei then. I'm gonna say right now what
Well,
the,
if it
the
gets to
shit
that
that
point, then I
happens in the
will.
second part of
If it-
Mushoku Tensei season 1. There's
it
gonna be
gets to
something
that
that
point,
happens, and you're gonna be like, I'm done. Then
If it gets to that point, then I'll have to. 'Cause I just can't rock with that. Like that's like saying like you're gonna go into a 5-year-old's body, grow up till you're 15, and be like, nah, I'm rocking with this 15-year-old. No, you can't, bro. You're like 40. You can't. You can't just do that.
But you like, okay, but what about in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood when Alphonse is stuck in like a fucking 7-year-old mindset in this big body and people sexualize him?
He's a fucking robot.
But he has the mentality of like a little kid though, right?
He's a
But that shows
fucking-
the greatness, right?
Is that
shows the
him?
greatness,
Is
right?
it the character or is it other people?
Who is
His
whole
whole body
doing
is gone.
anything with? He is a fucking robot.
There's literally people in the show who like hit on him and shit.
Does Alphonse hit back?
He blushes and shit. He
He's
likes
a 7. Wait, there's a difference between Alphonse because Alphonse is stuck as a 7-year-old. He is stuck. He is
But why
universally.
is that okay in that show then?
Because he
If
just
it's the
doesn't grow up.
greatest,
He doesn't grow up. He doesn't. That's the whole point. The whole point of the show is Alphonse stuck in his fucking armor. He cannot
Guys,
do anything.
guys,
He
I'm
cannot
saying, why is it
Guys,
okay
can we
for
please
people to
stop arguing about
sexualize a
pedophilia?
7-year-old in an armor suit, but then because someone like it has the mindset or like the intelligence and maturity level of a 32-year-old, and then
Okay, what do we think about last
Yeah,
week's Jujutsu
reincarnated.
Kaisen episode?
No, we're still going into this.
No, this is stupid. We're into this. We're in an instant hellhole of just everything is getting worse.
He doesn't understand the difference in between that. Alphonse is stuck as a 7-year-old instead of a robot armor. fucking
RJ
suit.
doesn't understand. I'm saying I literally said he's a 7-year-old in a robot body, but the show still sexualizes him with people hitting on and flirting with Alphonse throughout the show.
What does Alphonse do in return?
I just told you he blushes and he acts like coy and shit.
Because he's a 7-year-old. Oh my
Why
god.
can they still do that? It's literally like a fucking 20-year-old chick hitting on Alphonse.
Because she's not a 20-year-old. She's not a 45-year-old in a 20-year-old's body hitting on a 7-year-old. Do you not get?
Oh my god, the person hitting on Alphonse is 20, and Alphonse has like the outlook or like the appearance of this big beefy person because he's in this big like armor suit, but he has the mentality and the maturity in his mind and the personality of like a little fucking kid.
Because he's stuck as a 7. Omar. Oh yeah, you know.
Wait, both of you. Pause.
Let me give you these two takes, Omar, please. Ready? What sounds worse? Ready? Someone hitting on a fucking piece of armor with a 7-year-old's conscience stuck inside of it, right? Or a 15-year-old who was a 30-something-year-old in their past life having emotional feelings for a 15-year-old.
Okay, now
Is the activist
He doesn't have emotional feelings. Aqua does not have emotional feelings for any of them. He uses them.
But he has the tingles. He does. It's in the show. He's like, wait a minute. What if I blah blah blah? Like,
He says like she's cute.
can we just
I
let's
actually
just
understand that. But what I'm saying is you're trying to justify that. That's not okay.
This is what podcasts are for, Omar. We have to have disagreements
Omar.
and debates.
That's not even.
I just know because this is what I want to add. Because this is a very complicated subject. Because the more and more that we dive into it, the more and more of a hellhole that we actually start to swim in. What I'm going to say is, it is definitely worse for somebody who has lived a past life already, who is already a certain age, and then goes into another life and continues to grow, than somebody hitting on somebody that doesn't look like they're 7 years old. Because that's effectively what I'm getting from the entire debate.
Omar.
I think it's bad. Like
I agreed with you, RJ. What do you want?
I know what I'm saying, but he is the deuteragonist of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. He is the active goal in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and he's a 7-year-old stuck in armor who is stuck as a 7-year-old as pretty much penance for doing some fucking veto technique in the first fucking episode. And the reason, and he's not even sexualized. The guy literally, like, bro, when you were fucking 10 years old, and then someone would make a comment, like, oh, he's gonna grow up to be a handsome young man, or something like that, you would fucking blush, right?
That's
You know
still
what I
hitting
mean?
on him.
No, that's not.
What? A
What?
7-year-old is in a 15-year-old.
So when your aunt or your uncle go up to you as like
It's not his aunt or his uncle though. It's just a random fucking person in the army.
It doesn't matter, bro. It's you can't even compare those two things. You're comparing a legitimate pedophile to just
It's
a 7-year-old stuck in armor suit.
oh my gosh, it's
And
not a pedophile.
Okay, can we stop talking about this because we've effectively been talking about this particular subject for like 30 minutes.
That's what podcasts are for, Omar.
No, I don't want to talk about pedophiles for 30 minutes.
I can agree.
I want to talk
that,
about the new Jujutsu Kaisen episode that I missed last week.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I don't want to talk about pedophilia. What is wrong with you guys?
I'm not saying that like it makes the show good or anything, but it adds to the show. It doesn't ruin it. I feel like it sometimes goes overboard with the degeneracy, but at the same time, it brings that conflict inside the person of like, how should I act in my new body, in my new life?
Yeah,
and that like adds to the show.
Once is fine, but don't do the whole show. Oshinoko is okay. I completely understand that because Aqua doesn't bite into his fucking things, but there are just some shows where it's like a fucking 35-year-old that goes into like a brand new body and then absolutely has the most eager emotional fucking tension where he's like, yo, I find this 15-year-old cute. No, you are a 50-year-old man. Like, that's just weird. I just can't. I can't rock with something like that. I just can't. It just automatically. It's just like
the way that Arch is describing it. I feel like I can't get with something like that personally, but I mean, like, it's just,
bro. Like,
it's just such a weird subject to talk about because what can you really do with?
Take it out.
Yeah, you can, but that'll effectively
stigmatize it because it's obviously people like it. It's weird.
It's certainly weird, brother. I'll tell you that much. Well, I mean, I missed last week's episode of Jujutsu Kaisen because I was like really busy, but I watched it last night.
It was mid.
It was pretty mid, yeah. I could have went without it. But I did watch the One Piece episode, and I gotta say, I'm not without any spoilers.
Oh, the Green Bull episode. I thought it was like, bro.
Yeah, the Green Bill episode. But
great.
It visually, oh my god, it looks like we're taking a turn in animation for the best. Like, I legitimately cannot wait to see how Egghead is gonna be.
But
whoa, let's rewind. The new JJK episode last week was mid.
Yeah, the animators didn't even finish the episode. They actually got a lot of backlash. If you look at keyframes from when Megumi was like trying to actively like get the domain out from what's his name, Dagon, and then you see Nanami and what's her name,
Maki. I know
Maki and Nanami when they like just get in front of Megumi. You see all like the animation like break and it turns like not 8-bit, but like they kind of just start moving like non-freely with the frame rate. It looks really weird. And then also when the Zenin clan guy, what's his name, Maki's dad, was fighting Dagon and his arm was off, like you could tell like the animation sequences weren't there. Like they just didn't complete the episode, and they just passed it out there because like you see this whole contrast, and then you see like Toji come out of like the domain like a fucking god. Like they just like to all the animation were just like make him look like a god.
I thought it was great, but
it's
I don't look at keyframes like some people. So
keyframes were weird, yeah.
Everybody looks at keyframes. Get with it.
I guess they always want to.
They always do that shit with One Piece, so why not, right?
It's not even over-analyzing. You could just tell by just viewing it, like the animation wasn't done. You could just 100% tell the animation wasn't done.
Maybe I haven't watched enough anime because I thought it looked great. So.
No, like you can literally see because all these animes are done in 20 or 30 FPS, and when you see the like the animation like panel sequencing, like when they do like one drawing and overlap it to make them move and use animation to do that, it was choppy. And also when Maki's dad was fighting Dagon and his arm was off, it was also off.
Well, since you know the story, do you think they are saving the budget a little bit for this episode coming out tomorrow then? Is tomorrow going to be like a big episode?
It's definitely not the highlight of Shibuya. I don't think so.
Have we seen the highlight yet, or is it still coming?
Oh, it's still coming.
It's still coming.
That's like
I would have thought like Gojo being sealed was the whole highlight, I guess.
Well, no, it definitely was part of the highlight, but we also have to get to, um,
I know
shoot,
Sukuna gets resurrected or he awakens or something. They make him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we also
Yeah.
have to see Yuta come back, so that's gonna be very good. I think that's the peak of it.
We're
Oh
at,
my
I
god,
think,
I can't wait.
episode
Can't wait.
14 tomorrow. I think tomorrow's episode 14.
I'm pretty sure it's 14. Yeah.
So there's
I
9
cannot
episodes
wait.
left.
I cannot wait. Genuinely, cannot wait.
I think JJK is honestly my second best right now. I still like after that One Piece episode from last week. I don't think anything tops it. That was crazy. They made such a no. It was a really underwhelming chapter too. Like that chapter when it came out, we expected the Admiral to come in and then fight like Luffy or Zoro or Sanji, and then we got like the Scabbards fighting him and Yamato, and it became like kind of underwhelming as a chapter. But they really
But it
brought that.
wasn't supposed to be a big chapter, which we learn later on, right?
No,
It wasn't
yeah,
supposed to be
I
a
know, but
huge deal.
yeah, I know, but like before that chapter, it was one of the most hypiest moments in One Piece, where you see Green Bull like flying on his flower, and we thought he was about to wreak havoc, and then Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro were gonna have like another Kizaru moment, but it became underwhelming when we realized the Scabbards, Yamato, and Momonosuke were fighting him. But I think in the anime, they actually really brought it to light, and how good actually and how strong the Scabbards have become, Yamato and Momonosuke with this new Devil Fruit. So
100%.
I think they really put it to life, and the animation contrast is completely different from Wano, and I see they're taking a more egghead like animation response to it, like more sci-fi, more like contrasted colors, more saturation, rather than Wano that I think it was more in depth with like structurism. Like there was so much in the background in Wano, if you realize, as in like you had all these flowers, you had all these plants in the back, and I think that they really kind of ended that sequence with Green Bull coming in with the whole background of him creating vegetation, but then they really switched the key animation when they were actually fighting, and it's just
Right.
something we haven't seen in One Piece. So I think it's taking a really good direction.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for it because I mean, I haven't been a One Piece fan for a long time, right? I haven't been an anime fan for a long time really because when I first got into it, I was watching Naruto, then I slowly got into other shows before I started One Piece.
So you
But
started with the greatest of all time, and then you slowly went down the hill.
I wouldn't say the greatest of all time either. I mean, personally, but I do think it's still a great anime. But I mean, look, everything is like it's weird to me. It's very weird to me because now that I'm finally seeing One Piece do what they say they were gonna do, and like, well, it because okay, for a long time we've been seeing like the animation has been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and now it finally seems like it's gonna stay constant at this point where it kind of looks like majestic. Does that make sense?
I just think there's like it's a different animation style than Wano. Wano just
Yeah.
focused on structurism in the background. I think a lot of the new One Piece animation focuses on keyframes and a lot more saturation within like the show. Like when you have Green Bull like changing his form into the tree, you see all these colors, and I think it's like they're not taking the Super Saiyan approach where they put like yellow aura behind them like they did in Mid Wano. They're
Hmm.
actually like taking manga panels and then like kind of rejuvenating them and changing them around and adding more saturation and more like I guess depth to them. So it's cool. I like what the animator's doing in the new
Yeah,
episodes.
I mean, it looks good. I mean, it really does look good. I'm really excited.
Like when Yamato hit his head
Mhm.
with the Bagua, like that shit was fire.
Did you see the chapter leaks?
No, I'm staying away from them. I heard it was a big chapter.
Huge. You told me something earlier. Do you want to discuss it?
You go ahead if you want. I don't really
So you
mind.
said earlier that you think Ginny, who has finally popped up in the manga, I've been saying it's Bonnie's mom, Jewelry Bonnie from Sabaody Archipelago.
It might be. Yeah.
That's what I've been thinking for a long time because it's been a Kuma chapter, and then now we found out that Kuma is Bonnie's mother and
Well,
father, and
Ginny was
yada
with
yada yada.
Ivankov.
I'm sorry.
Ginny was with Ivankov.
Well, no, yeah, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying you were saying that Ginny is Luffy's mom, and I was like, no, I don't really think so. Then we have another kid on the chat who his name is Nick. Well, a kid, I mean a guy, man. We have another guy in the chat. His name is Nick. He's one of our good friends. He lives in the area as well. He was saying he was leaning towards it being Luffy's mom because Ginny
I just
apparently proposed to a 17-year-old Kuma, and Kuma rejected her.
I mean, I think they look. The issue with Luffy and Bonnie is that there's always been a really big theory that Luffy and Bonnie are actually siblings
Yeah, I've been
because
thinking
like
the same way. To be.
they are very similar in the way they act.
Hmm.
Eating always, they're goofy as hell. They don't really care about anything, but they have a strong set of morals. And when you see Ginny with Ivankov, and it's like you kind of realize this Ginny figure hasn't been around in the show, but
Yeah.
she's very important to like the background of either Dragon or Kuma. You kind of tend to believe either she is Luffy's mother or is Bonnie's mother. And I'm leaning 50-50 because I know there's a theory out there that she's Bonnie's mother forever, but
I mean, I think it's just a little more convincing than
it is
Luffy's
convincing,
at the
yeah.
moment.
Because she already proposed to Kuma, so honestly, Kuma probably.
Kuma
Okay,
dubbed.
question.
Kuma dubbed.
It just to see if my memory is serving me right. Bonnie is the bar owner from Sabayoti, where they meet at the bar.
That is Shaki. Bonnie is the one at Sabaody with the crew where she can change people's ages. She has the pink hair and she eats a lot.
Oh, okay,
The one that saves Zoro from hurting the Celestial Dragon.
okay. I've seen
Yeah.
her. I think I've seen her pop up a couple times since Sabayoti, and I feel like they're like trying to put her into the story, and so I guess this is how they put her in. So doesn't she also is she the one who gets captured by Blackbeard and sold to the Navy? Or who was that?
That's Ace. Wasn't that Ace?
Yeah.
No. Like after Marineford, he goes to that like lava island or whatever.
Oh, yeah, and then Akainu starts chasing them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, we gotta get out of here. The lava dude's here. Fuck.
The lava
Yeah.
dude. No. Yeah, I mean, he's a bit scary. I think what's his name? I think if Akainu was like a pirate, I think he'd find the One Piece in like a year.
Well, that's what Oda said.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think I heard that somewhere. I think the Grand Line review said that.
Well, you also gotta realize Luffy's not taking this shit serious. Luffy's just trying to get to every island. Bro's just trying to do mastery challenges. Like, like when you gotta finish a campaign in like Call of Duty and you wanted to get all the trophies because it just looks cool. That's what Luffy's doing right now. Luffy could have been got
Like
that.
collect all the hidden intel in the campaign missions.
Literally.
Yeah, Luffy's a menace. I love Luffy, bro. Luffy's the epitome of the best main character ever. Like, he's so good. Like, you just can't. You can't like I don't know, because
He's good. I wouldn't say goat though.
that's the thing I have trouble with. 'Cause I love Naruto so much, but the sad part is I don't love Naruto completely for him, like Naruto.
I
Like
wouldn't even say I wasn't even thinking Naruto. I think
no. I'm just saying, like I'm talking about like that big three. Like
Yeah.
Ichigo, I can get behind. He is the best character in Bleach. There's no doubt about it. Like his attention to detail, like I mean, like Tite Kubo's attention to detail to Ichigo is insane. But I think in One Piece, it just goes to show you how much diversity and how many background characters actually have information around them to still have Luffy as number one in almost everyone's textbook. With the exception of like 1 out of 10 guys that was like, I love Zoro. When he's literally the second character, like the deuteragonist. But Naruto is kind of like, it's just subjective to other people because like, you can have people that just love Naruto. But it's just like, how can you love Naruto when Uchihas exist? I'm sorry, bro. You can't. How do you love Naruto when Uchihas exist?
How you gonna love Naruto?
They're so cold, bro. How you gonna love him with bro? Itachi exists.
I'm just talking about like main character wise and like his
I know
whole
about what I'm saying.
more I guess like his whole story. Like coming from the bottom. Now we here.
That's the thing though. Like if they took that approach, they can't stretch it 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, one of my big complaints about Shippuden was in the fourth grade Shinobi War, where they like randomly jammed in like
Fourth
I think
grade.
it was like 20 filler episodes of like the tuning exams for like Rock Lee and
Yes.
all of them, and
Yes.
like I was watching, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
And they cliffhang you and they throw in the filler. Like they'll have
Yeah.
like they had the part where Naruto, Sasuke, and they gave all the Shippuden like the OG cast like all Rasengans to hit Obito like Jinchuriki Obito with, and then when they hit him with it, they switched to 20 fucking filler episodes, and you're like, imagine going through 20 weeks of this. You just went through half a year after a cliffhanger.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God I didn't watch. I mean, I think I started watching Naruto like as soon as it ended. Like,
Nah, Naruto ended in 2016. You started watching like 2019, 2020.
believe it or not, I started it before we started being really good friends again.
Yeah, but no, but you didn't watch it. You did not watch it in like 2017. That show was a whole different world. Like 2017, 2016, Naruto was a complete different world.
I might have watched it in like 2019, 2020.
I think you did because I remember you
Yeah.
texting me on like the 13th episode. You're like, bro, this is so fire.
Yeah, it is.
Bro, this is
What got
fire.
me
I was
into it was,
also
like,
I was also talking to this guy Shiv, and he was like, "Bro, just watch Naruto, then watch One
Shiv?
Piece."
It's just
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, Shiv is funny. Shout out Shiv. But
That's Chris's boy, right?
yeah,
Arsenegas. I love Chris Arsenegas.
Arsenegas. Yeah, but
ah,
anyway.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Ah,
guy. No, but no, but I gotta say, in terms of world building and in terms of where the story has been, where the story has been, I think in world building, One Piece tops
it's the best.
Naruto. Huh?
One Piece is
yeah.
the best world building out of anything. Like,
Yeah.
there's no other shows that has the same world building
That's
as
the
One Piece.
problem with Naruto. It
Doesn't have
world builds specific places in the show, right? So like
exactly.
the Leaf Village, the Uchiha clan, the Water Village, but you don't even see the Stone Village or any shinobi from the Stone Village until what, like almost the Fourth Great Shinobi War, where they finally like
Onoki.
introduce their Hokage.
Onoki, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like,
What the hell is this? Like,
they
where have they
always they
been?
always
Yeah.
mention it, but like you never hear about
Yeah.
it.
My issue with Naruto is that, like, with One Piece, is a set of rules. It's always like in the first episode, there's a set of rules and a guideline. With Naruto, you can have the most busted characters, and then Boruto goes, "Oh, this random person from this village has this eye," and it just negates everything. And it's like, bro, you wrote 700 and I mean, you wrote like almost 800 chapters just for this. Like you know what really pisses me off about Boruto is this one character named Damon. Damon is like a 10-year-old
Oh, Damon is
who can
broken.
negate all of chakra. And it's like you go through this whole world building of Naruto, right? Where it's like you have this set amount of chakra, you can also build it up. You have to train harder with whatever technique you were born with. You either have wind, lightning, fire, water, and some people get lucky and they get like wood release and shit like that. You have like these guideline and this world building that's really good for Shippuden in the beginning. Like the beginning of Shippuden, the world building is amazing. You have this set of rules, set of characters, they abide by these rules, and these villages surrounding them all survive by the same set of rules. But then you enter Boruto and it's like, yeah, dude, this guy's genetically modified robot who, if you think about hitting him with chakra, it just deflects onto you. And it's like, yo, where did the whole world building go in this whole Shippuden like universe? Like, where did it go?
Well, I feel like you can tell that they slowly like went away from like the rules of the universe when Guy doesn't die in the Fourth Great Shinobi
Dude.
War. Because to me, like the whole buildup of the releasing the eighth wall of like the eighth wall of death is that you die, and then when they make him survive because Naruto gets some power up,
That was
it's like
stupid.
you just take the whole thing away. So now anyone can use the eighth gate of death, and all Naruto has to do is go and touch him after he's like fucking burnt. And
Well, I
to
mean,
me,
Guy is not exactly the same after that. He's in a
It did-
wheelchair for the rest of his life.
If he didn't kick Madara that hard, he might have been walking. But what I'm saying is, Omar, I always tell you about this. Guy should have died. I always say it.
No, I agree with
Guy
you.
should have been died because it would have had so much more depth to the show. Like, you know how cold that moment would have been if Naruto just pulled up with six pads, was like, "I'm sorry, I'm late," and then just lowered his eyes, and, like put a veil on him or something, and then
Yeah.
proceeded to like skull fuck Madara. Like, it would have been so much better than him being like, "Yo, here's some Vapo Rub."
and then he
Like,
could have easily
100%
like
Vapo Rub.
push the story and just taken Rock Lee and put it into Guy's character model, like
It would've
replace him with Rock Lee. Because Rock Lee and Boruto, from what I've seen,
piece of
is
shit,
like
bro.
barely even there.
And
And
his
to me,
son, bro, his
in
son.
Naruto, it felt like they always talked about like the 5 great shinobi villages, but you really only heard about like 3 of them. The
Mhm.
Land of the Waves, you had obviously the Leaf Village, and then you get the Cloud Village. That's it.
Yeah.
And
They
then
don't
you
talk
have little
about-
villages all over the place, like smaller
And-
villages, like in
and
clans and stuff like that.
The really thing I hate about Kishimoto, but I still love Naruto, but Naruto world building would be so much better if they actually explained what happens. He always will drop a bomb like the Uzumaki were eradicated, but never give any backstory. When Oda says something, it always comes back.
Mhm.
When Oda says this happened to this, like God Valley, it came back. When Oda said this, what happened between Rock's crew, it came back. When Kishimoto said about Naruto's whole lineage and background ancestors, and you have a character that embodies that, he doesn't even respond or root back to the whole cause of why he said that. Like, we still don't know. We're like, oh yeah, well, a couple tribes, ganged up and like eradicated the Uzumakis. Now there's only like 3 of them in existence. But
Well, don't they say that
show us,
they got
show us.
eradicated because of how dangerous their jutsus were?
Yeah, but they don't show us. They don't show us. The only thing we've ever seen about
It's
Uzumakis is
propaganda.
them shaking their hands with senjus. That's it. That's all we've seen. Nothing else.
It's
They
propaganda.
created the God Reaper Death Seal, which is heavily implied as one of the most broken jutsus. They are sister brother clans, the Senju clan, which is the strongest clan in all of Naruto, other than obviously like Otsutsuki bullshit. But we have so much like we have this whole clan that Kishimoto always talks about, but never has showed us. Like, they could have at least just showed the massacre of the Uzumakis and seen how strong they actually were. Like, we obviously have Naruto, and we see how strong he is, but he's only half Uzumaki. Like, we see Karin do
And then
all
we
this
see
stuff.
her. We see
Her mom.
her jutsu when he fights Kuruma's hate, and that's like it. And then I think the other Uzumaki was Nagato, right?
Yeah,
Because he
3 of
had
them.
the red hair.
There's only 3 of them. Well, 4 of them if you want to count Karin's mother. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you have this like whole crazy ass clan that can control like the strongest tailed beast via chain lock, and you don't talk about them within the whole show when your whole main character is the progressor of this clan essentially.
And we
And
don't even get like any background on Minato's clan either.
exactly that's what pisses me off. This clan's supposed to be like some genius clan that is like not like one part of like the 5 great clans, but has born like the fastest shinobi on all of time, and they just do not go into his lineage.
Mhm.
And it's not like, oh, well, this dude was like some Zoro-esque character where he didn't have any like potential, but he worked on it. No, Minato's been doing flying Raijin since he was like 5. He
Isn't
was
it crazy that we got more backstory on like the third? What is it? The third
Hokage.
water Hokage?
Oh, Mizukage.
Yeah, third Mizukage because he was like
Yeah.
the 3 tails, and we got more background of like how he died, how he got the 3 tails
Well,
in
that
him.
was also a setup for Itachi.
Yeah.
It did set up for Itachi.
That was also a setup for Itachi to show.
Even like Kabuto, we get more background. Like, who the fuck cares about Kabuto?
You want to hear the craziest thing? We got a whole fucking like 10 filler episode about the Stone Hokage and him meeting Madara in the back, but we can't get one episode on the Namikaze whole lineage or Uzumaki whole lineage or fuck it, even the whole. Like, we never, dude. We've seen like that little 10 episode flashback of Hashirama and Madara as like speaking to each other, and also like their clans being at war. But fuck it, the only time we've seen war was when they killed fucking Hashirama's little brother. We didn't see shit other than that in Izanagi. Like, they could have done like, instead of a 20 episode filler in between the whole Great War about Rock Lee being in the tuning exams, actually develop and envelope all those things you were saying, and actually put a picture to them, because saying that the Uzumakis were just eradicated and have a picture of them holding hands with Senju is like just bullshit. It's like there's so much lore in Naruto for you not to root back whatever you say. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
There's too much
Agreed.
lore.
Agreed. It's really weird, and to be honest, I think the Uzumakis were probably genocided.
They were
They were
eradicated.
They were
I think like all the
eradicated.
clans ganged up on
They
him to
ganged
kill
up on
them
them.
because they were scared of him.
Yeah,
And then-
I
you
think
get,
they
that's all you
explain
get.
that though, don't they?
But they explain it just like that. Just like
Yeah,
that.
they
like
explain
we
why
said
they
it.
got it, but they don't show you any fighting or what caused it, like
They
what
don't show
made
you-
people
yeah.
change their minds. Because the whole background of the Uzumakis was people would go to them and like give them someone right from their clan, and then the Uzumakis would train that person to learn a jutsu like the Reaper Death Seal or something. So then the new clan that now has the Reaper Death Seal has more power, but like that's all. But like, so there's no way of like why these clans changed their mind all of a sudden, what
Exactly.
caused the shift, how long the war went, how many
Yeah.
people died, if any other clans got taken out. It's just, yeah, everyone hated the Uzumakis all of a sudden. They killed them, and then it was only Karina, Nagato, and now Naruto. And it's like,
It's
But
definitely suspicious. I'll say that.
And it's really weird because the Uzumakis were like prepped up higher than the Uchiha. That's the crazy part about it, because it was like, honestly, even the Hyuga clan was above the Uchiha in some sort of, because they did say that the Hyuga clan average Byakugan user was stronger than the average Sharingan user.
well,
So
and
if it
also
was
with the
an implement of
Hyuga,
power,
you get background of like Al from the Water Village, right? How he has a Byakugan, and then you get the backstory of why the Byakugan is so powerful and how many people like will come after the Hyuga clan members to get a Byakugan, but the main character's family lineage, fuck that. They don't need a backstory. They just need to know that they're fucking eradicated. That's all they need to know. And it's like,
it's definitely really weird. I'll say that.
The Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan and the Uchiha clan. This, you know what? We're missing one whole thing. They never even elaborated about the Senju clan. They never did. They really never did. Name me one Senju in all of Naruto other than Hashirama and Tsunade and Tobirama. Tell me. They don't even exist anymore. They don't. They don't. They just don't.
her helper isn't a Senju with the pig. She's not a Senju, I don't think.
There's no Senjus. They don't exist anymore.
Because the only thing with the Senjus is they just talk about how they fought the Uchihas, and then when Hashirama and Madara were then the leaders of the clan, they came together and built the Leaf Village, and that's like it, I guess. We don't get like why. I guess they're the strongest.
But why don't they exist anymore? You know what I mean?
They don't go into like why they're the strongest. Because you would think like they have wood release, but that was only Hashirama because Tobirama had water.
I hear some stupid shit too. We never even get info on how Hashirama died. They said he died in battle. Who killed him?
Didn't he die in that battle at the waterfall with Madara?
No. He beat Madara, and then Madara used Izanagi to revive himself. Remember that? And then Hashirama literally just they said he died in battle. Who killed him? Imagine, and you know what pissed me off? If they get some like Boruto flashback with Ishiki just killing like Hashirama, that'd be so stupid.
Yeah,
I would literally drop the show from that. I would literally just drop the show from that. I'm like,
I wouldn't drop
this is the worst foreshadowing I've ever seen in my life.
Yamato, even though he has Hashirama cells, he's not Senju, right?
No, he is just regular Konoha. He just was born with the genetics to be willed.
And I feel like that's where they kind of like try to. That's where Kishimoto tries to like bring the Senjus in. Is like, well, they have Hashirama cells, but it's like, but they're not Senjus. Like, where are the Senjus?
That was like the COVID vaccine in Naruto. If you had Hashirama cells, you were like god tier.
Jesus.
Like,
and then all the conservatives came out and were like, it's a chip in your brain. Don't take the Hashirama cells that we tell you. You're gonna get brainwashed.
98 incubated babies and created one. That's a 98%.
You know what's even crazier? We got like 90 times we had to see Rin get fucking stabbed in the heart by fucking Kakashi, but we can't get a flashback of like prominent clans or villages or anything like that. Also, there's 5 great shinobi villages: Stone, Water, the Cloud, and then Leaf. I can't even remember the last one. Oh, the Sand.
Rain.
Well,
Rain as well.
Rain? That's not like one of the great ones, right? That's like a smaller one.
No, Danzo. Remember Danzo? I mean Hanzo Salamander.
Yeah, but Hanzo. 5 great ones. Because remember, there's like smaller ones, like Omar said. Because you have like, say like, the land of boiling water, where Hedon comes from, the land of the waterfall.
The land of rain.
No, but it wasn't land hidden in the clouds. It was land hidden in the mist.
Yes, you're right. It was hidden in the mist village.
It's mist, rain, sand, Konoha, stone, and that's.
Yeah.
I don't think they classify Rain as a major village.
They were, dude. They literally, the Third Great Ninja War was based around there. Remember the Sannin were there, and that's where they found Nagato.
Yeah, but isn't it like in the show? It's like now like a minor village.
Well, that's because the Akatsuki made it a minor village. They hold it as outpost. Remember Pain, Konan.
I always remember them like showing the map, and they never show like they show like the Rain in the middle, but they're not ever like this is one of the like great ones. Like the
Rain is the one that has like
the
drops on the headbands.
Yeah, like the
droplets.
Yeah,
it's like it's the 4 lines.
Steaming Water has the lines. Waterfalls like the arrow.
Like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they don't. That is like a big problem. That's just a big problem I had. That's why I don't think Naruto is like. Obviously, when I watched it, I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." But as I watch more and more, it's like. Naruto is good, like it's a personal favorite of mine, but I wouldn't go and tell anyone, yeah, this is the greatest anime of all time. There's like much better ones.
And RJ loves to call me the biggest Naruto hater ever. I will quote you from our first podcast. But
you still are.
No, I'm not. I literally like Austin feels the exact way that I do. Like I couldn't have put it perfectly like myself. It's a good anime. It's like one of the better animes that I've seen in a while, but it's nothing that I'm going to go like this is the greatest anime of all time.
Now,
Like
No, but
here's a good
it
question for you.
nostalgia does carry it, and I think nostalgia is a very valid point in someone's perspectiveness and perspective on a show.
If Naruto wasn't like 1,000 episodes, like original and Shippuden,
They
and it
not
was
filler.
like,
It
and it
wouldn't be.
was like split up in like a 24 season, each season had like 24 episodes where it covered the arc, like with no filler or anything. Do you think it would be viewed differently?
Would have the same hype as Jujutsu Kaisen if it dropped today without any filler and they actually did seasonal episodes.
Mhm.
Because the manga is critically acclaimed. I think in the manga of Naruto, there's no such thing as Naruto Shippuden manga, it's just Naruto. The Naruto manga is immensely like a lot better than the anime, and I always say that because the issue that the anime gets, they do a lot of padding. When it's a 2 chapter, 3 chapter episode, they'll take 1.5 chapter and add another 0.5 chapter of just fucking bullshit in the anime.
Mhm.
So if they did it like Jujutsu Kaisen, where they just adapted 1 to 1 and they do like 5 chapters per episode and speed it up, and they add better animation since it's not seasonal. I mean, since it's not a weekly anime and they just make it seasonal, I think it would have been a lot better. But that's also the reason why it gets carried by nostalgia because you watch it at a young age and you're like, shit, this is the only thing that exists, and it's so good for what it is because Naruto, whether you like it or not, might have a shitty world building, but the views, morals, and actual goal of Naruto is really good. People like to shit on it, but still good.
Yeah, I
And me
agree.
personally, how I look at it is like, if you have 1,000 episodes, like I feel like that's easy to like get the whole story out. That's why I think it's so much easier for studios and shows to fumble like a 12 or like 24 episode season because it's under like much more like of a time crunch of like how they can get the arcs in.
Promise Neverland.
If you have like a
That
thousand
scared the
episodes, it's
shit
like
out of me.
how do you not
I
have
didn't expect them to do that.
how do you not like put the whole story in and like flush shit out? That's what I feel about with like One Piece. It's like if One Piece was like 500 episodes, I feel like
You still can
it
get all
might
the
be
information
viewed
out.
differently.
You couldn't get all the information out of 500 episodes. That's the weird thing about One Piece is that there's only 100 filler episodes. People love this. There's like not. It's crazy. There's only 100 filler episodes of One Piece.
Do you think okay, so since it's been like coming out since like
98.
99, 98, do you think if they did a more seasonal approach, do you think it would have the same amount of viewership slash hype? Or do you think the weekly like really helped it with the like keeping people
Yeah,
engaged and
because
stuff?
they started I think 200 chapters late. So when they started animating, the show was already in 2001. They started animating. the The manga was already at Skypiea, I believe. So they always were on like an uphill battle. So I don't think they could have done it like seasonally.
Yo, RJ, not gonna lie, you ear raping me right now.
Oh, sorry, it's too close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't think they could have done it seasonally. I don't think so because One Piece has always been fighting an uphill battle. Like, right now, they're still 100 chapters behind.
I agree. I mean, it's there
I don't know. One Piece is weird for me. It's all right. I wouldn't say it's like
because you're
anything
watching it on one
mind
pace.
blowing. I don't think that should matter.
It does. You do
It
miss a lot of
does.
key stuff.
You miss a lot of context.
Like
I
what?
told you as soon as I realized because I admit I told him watch it on one pace, get it over with, but I regret it because now that he's not liking it as much, and now that I'm seeing like different clips out of One Piece, it looks like it does miss a lot of context.
Like
So,
what's one thing then?
hmm. Well, I think there's a couple moments with the Kaido fight where stuff is just straight up cut out.
Well, there's no One Piece for the Kaido fight yet.
Hmm.
He's capping.
He's capping. You're right. I'm capping. But that's got to be the end of the episode anyway, because I got to go do a couple of things as well. So thank you so much, everybody that's tuned in for today on the Wano Bros Podcast. We upload weekly on YouTube and Spotify and other places if you guys want to do that. We're going to leave everything in the description. Thank you guys very much for attending, and peace.